there's less of an opportunity to kind of just have scenarios where you just randomly find the items you need by taking a very wild gamble. So in these, you're kind of prone to checking a lot more locations, dipping a lot more dungeons, and kind of just trying to make the seed longer to avoid kind of those luck scenarios, I guess. This is Cadenza's pick.
And we already have a first vengeance here. Cadenza going for the oh dear money. And Illus actually getting bombs from the triple.
Okay, that's interesting. I wasn't even aware they started because my stream was paused. My bad. So yeah, it looks like we already have a start here. Yeah, Cadenza definitely going for that early hula hand to kind of get rupees to get started.
Illus already getting the key to Swamp Palace, which is actually very nice at the beginning, since you only need that one to access the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know yet if it's going to be a pendant or a crystal until we find them out.
That is true, but there are a lot of chests back there in the swamp. So, could be some value back there. You'll have to wait and see. Anyway, it looks like they're both going to be doing slightly different routes to get to Kakariko. Cadenza kind of going the southern route to get some bomb drops and also kind of check the race game and library first, while Illus going through the Lost Woods to get those items, kind of the more traditional route through Kakariko. Just a piece of heart of the race game, but going to go ahead and take that because you never know when those hearts are going to turn up in the overworld. So grabbing some health to kind of get things started.
That early blue mail is also going to help them a lot.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Ooh, that we got our early hookshot and a sword.
Ooh, and a bottle as well, so we'll be able to route in the bottle vendor too while we're going through Kakariko here.
And especially in Sanity, you want to have that bottle when you're in Kakariko, so you don't have to backtrack all the way just for that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, just a very quick summary for those who may not be completely familiar with Key Sanity and what it actually does. It really doesn't, complicate the mode that much, in terms of just, how you play through it. It does put all of the dungeon items, small keys, big keys, compasses, maps into the item pool so you can find them in other dungeons and outside of dungeons in general. So instead of making, dungeon requirements different, it's basically just adding more dungeon requirements. So, basically more walls you have to kind of break down to get through a dungeon. But if you're familiar with all of the keys that you need and small keys you need, just basically just adding those one extra items to what you kind of need for your little to-do list, I guess you could say.
And we already got 3 big keys from
Yes,
Kakariko.
we did.
It was Misermeyer, Toph, Hera, and the bottle vendor has Swamp, was it? Yeah, it was Swamp Palace.
Yes, it was Swamp, that is correct. And see, in the case of Misery Mire and Tower of Hera, we will actually need those big keys to get through those dungeons too. Swamp Palace we actually don't, and there is the Moon Pearl on the Sick Kid.
Illus missing just a bit of money to get his Swamp Palace big key.
Well, thankfully, we still have a while before Swamp Palace is even going to be in logic, so I reckon we'll probably get rupees before too long, and if he's ever back in the area, he can pick that up very quickly. And again, it's just for one item. We do not need that. It's a big key to actually complete Swamp, so it may not even be required. Anyway, since Illus is kind of done with their Kakariko trip, going to be heading over to the Eastern Palace and Sashrala area. Going to pick up 3 more items, and if decides to go to Eastern, that'll be 4 more additional items on top of that. So definitely going to be able to get some more stuff here. Probably some more keys, as this mode normally works out.
And we have a Green Pendant location in Skull Woods. Not where you want it to be. It's like Skull Woods is a fast dungeon.
Yeah. It is one you'd normally want to be a crystal dungeon because of the quick clear and everything, but you know, it is also just very quick to check, so it does give us kind of a reason to maybe head in there, and if we, you know, have a feeling that green pendant or even pedestal will lead to something, you know, can take care of that when we're in the area.
Cadenza actually going for the dam.
Ooh, doesn't quite get the hookshot trick where you can get to that chest immediately and just move over the blocks, but not too bad. Still is able to kind of use it for faster movement to get back in here when he comes back.
Illus actually getting flute already in the first chest of each turn. Gonna help with his movement.
Yeah, and with that hook shot, that's quite a number of items on Death Mountain as well. And there's one of the many Dark Palace keys we'll probably have to pick up in this run. Ooh, it looks like we also got the hammer inside the dam, and in Mini Moldorm Cave, we got a Master Sword, as well as another Palace of Darkness small key as well. And it looks like we also got an item that says a unique item is held by someone friendly. So that can be basically any NPC that's friendly enough to give you an item of some sort. It could even be Sashrala, so that green pendant we figured out earlier could be important.
Getting those small keys support is actually nice.
Yes, it is. There are actually 6 Palace of Darkness small keys that you can find in the world. If you know some minor glitches, namely the Hammer Yump, you can actually get through the dungeon with only 4 of them, and with 3 kind of in logic right now. If our runners know that hammer yump, then that's actually almost enough to actually get through pot with no major issues.
They also have a bottle as well, so
Potion glitch, yeah.
potion glitch your way in to save one key if you don't have the bow when you get in.
Definitely. Our tracker, Itsu Demo, actually just pointed out that the hint that we found could have actually applied to the sick kit item as well, which did give us Moon Pearl. With that being said, like, it still could be another NPC. It's not just like specific to like just one single item where it's like you're only going to get one unique item on like this NPC, but it could definitely be referring to that as well.
I like Cadenza play of fake flippering. Since you're in Vicinity, you might want to take as many location as possible, and with that early Moon Pearl, they would get access to a lot of items here.
Yeah, we'll be able to sneak into this waterfall fairy cave and see the two items there. I can also take a peek at what's on Zora's ledge as well, so definitely a good valid play to do this right now.
But they don't have enough money for a Zora check though.
Yeah, unfortunately. Ooh, do sequence break the first glove upgrade could even be the second one for all we know, in terms of where it's placed in logic, and the shovel too. And we do also see a small key on the ledge of Zora's domain. Could be a small key that may not matter, but it is definitely logic we'll want to keep in mind if we're still looking for particular small keys here and there.
With that glove, Cadenza heading straight to the Dark Hole while Illus is going on that mountain with that hook shot. They're gonna be able to get a lot of items with Parallax Cave open.
Looks like we have the big key to Thieves Town inside the Hype Cave, the Flippers, which puts those gloves in logic, as well as the Book of Medora. So, pretty interesting Hype Cave we have there. Or wait, no, it doesn't put it in logic. I'm sorry, wrong terminology there. But like, you know, basically we now know like where we would have gotten the Flippers anyway.
It would have been a second blow then.
That's true, yeah. Unless this was an Agassiz this whole time by logic. It looks like we got a small key to Desert Palace inside the digging game.
Cadenza actually going for dark world plays, not getting value on that hook shot already. I mean, they have a lot of information on the seed already with those flippers in Hive Cave.
Or at least Cadenza has that information anyway. But we still have, like, we have these 3 chests right here that could be something. We still have to look at the escape portion as well, so there's still plenty of places where our runners can go at this current point.
Illus has the Tower Therapy key as well, so they might actually go for that troll door.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a good play to make right now, for sure. Ooh, and there is the fire rod inside Skull Woods, so we can potentially get that, or at least Cadenza right now can get that green pendant that's here if he really wants to.
And we already have our hint about GTB key locked behind Cane of Samaria.
Ooh, interesting. So that means that could be in Turtle Rock, it could be on Vitreous, or it could even be in Ganon's Tower still, because there are some Samaria blocks in that dungeon, so good to know where that key is going to end up being. I believe in Key Sanity, it always gives you at least one hint that tells you where that big key is going to end up being.
When I was taking the fall here. That's quite a bit of time lost.
Oh yeah, and I don't think he has a way to... Yeah, he has to take a death here because he has no way to hit those pegs since the only switch is behind the locked door.
Yeah, the GDP key is locked behind Samaria. That's the hint we got from the first hint in Tower Farah.
Yeah. And yeah, looks like Cadenza is going to go straight for the back of Skull Woods. I mean, if you're going to get that fire rod in here, may as well check it out if you're confident in taking on that moth. Okay, there is the other glove upgrade inside Tower of Hera. So with that, the flippers and the other glove upgrade are now within logic for Illus. So this is not necessarily an Agaseed. May still need to go in there for items that could be in the chest in there, but for right now, though, that's pretty much our Dark World.
It will be a while before Illus actually gonna go for his second glove. I don't think he's gonna fake flipper anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not, I imagine. More than likely he's going to find the flippers before then, and might wait till he gets the mirror to kind of combo all that stuff with Catfish as well, so could be a bit before we see that for him, but Cadenza still needs to get that second glove up in Tower Hera at some point, but satisfied with going through the Dark World as he is now.
And not a lot of value from that Motola yet. We still have to deliver that green pendant though.
Yeah, that very well could end up being like another item. We already did get a unique item from an NPC, but doesn't mean that another one can't be on there, so green pendant could end up being valuable. We'll have to wait and see on that. Meanwhile, Illus, I imagine, probably going to start thinking about some Dark World access here in a little bit, maybe even going to the back of Escape, since we still need to see that at this point. And there are the boots!
Then that skull was actually worth going through.
Mm-hmm.
Those early boots gonna give a lot of value to Cadenza's routing.
Yeah, for sure. Boots not necessarily required in seeds, but they does allow for faster movement, and having them this early could just kind of give a nice little speed advantage to him, kind of go into different sections of the map at a lot faster rate.
Illus actually going for the flippers.
Cadenza going to be checking out the Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town area, finding a small key to Misery Mire. Not a really super great key to find, because you don't need any small keys to complete Mire. The dungeon itself usually kind of gives you enough as you're going through it, but it does allow for slightly faster routing.
And we saw all three pendants already. The red pendant was in Thieves Town, while the blue pendant was in Turtle Rock.
Ooh, nice. Always good to get that information early.
Knowing that we won't need that, necessarily won't need that ice rod, is actually a very good thing to know.
Yeah, definitely. And if we do ever stop by the bomb shop, we can immediately find out where those red crystals are going to end up, so we can pretty much avoid any maps we see just like kind of laying around, so we don't have to worry about picking those up anymore. But yeah, looks like Cadenza is continuing on through more of Thieves Town. Don't think he's aware that this is a pendant, but Thieves Town, we have the big key. All of these locations are within logic for him, so going to be going through here anyway just to kind of see if he can find anything. It's also not a very long dungeon either, so it's not too much of a time sink.
But she doesn't have the small keys, so she won't be able to check the big chest.
That is true. Oh boy, looks like we have a unique item inside Ice Palace. So aside from that hint, doesn't look like Desert Palace is gonna give off any value right now, and I don't think Illus has the big key to Desert quite yet, so gonna end this trip short, unfortunately, but still, having that Ice Palace hint is really, really nice.
And there we have our first key to the castle tower. We know it's not a Naga seed. I mean, we haven't seen the Lumberjacks yet, right?
I don't think we have, no. So, like, it could still very well be an Naga seed in that right, and you know, with that small key, just having one small key puts the two chests in there, perfectly accessible. Not logically yet, because we don't know where the lamp is, but, you know, if they know their dark rooms, they can get both items in there, and, you know, those items could be something we might need at some point. And Cadenza takes down Blind and gets their second pendant. Anyway, to very quickly, again, kind of echo what's kind of being discussed in chat right now, as far as unique items are concerned, basically what the game considers unique are items that are just kind of one of a kind, which basically means any Y or A item with exception to the swords and bottles. So that's basically any item that isn't those you can find as a unique item. That also includes, though, the single arrow as well, which because there's only one of those in the game. So there is still kind of a bit of a troll with that. So whenever you see a unique item, it could end up being that single arrow, but, you know, there's also a lot of other items too, so it's still something you should keep in mind as well.
And with that Lumberjack tag, Aga 1 is officially dead.
Indeed it is. And yeah, I think the 100 rupee isn't considered unique. It's just another denomination of some cash, which is what pretty much every rupee item location is referred to as. Ooh, well, Sash did have a unique item.
Just adding to the fact that unique item on friendly people, they can't not be like. We thought it could be the moon pearl on Sigit, but this sheet actually showed us that it can't be only that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone else friendly could also have an item, and that's the case here. So we have the Ice Rod. Now, we know, I don't know if Cadenza knows yet, but we know that Turtle Rock is a pendant dungeon, so may not necessarily be required, but if Pedestal has something, like, we still need some items for Turtle Rock, obviously, but, you know, a potential Pedestal seed, maybe?
And Illus actually deciding to leave Skullwoods, not getting the boost or that green pendant, since he knows that it's a green pendant.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna go there anytime soon, so he might actually miss on his heist rob as well, and if it's actually needed for the seed, he might be in trouble.
Maybe. It's still very, very early, so it's hard to tell. I mean, at some point, Illus might start getting kind of a glimpses like, you know, this is starting to maybe look like Pedestal could be a thing, but, you know, it's still way too soon to tell. We still need a lot of items for even Turtle Rock access right now anyway, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
But yeah, like Chad is pointing, missing on those boots might actually hit him in the long run.
Mm-hmm. It'll be slightly slower overworld navigation for sure, and that's something Cadenza's making really great use of. Even in dungeons like Eastern Palace right now, being able to dash through some of these longer rooms, definitely a time save, so... So I imagine Cadenza gonna go get that flute activated, and we'll probably be making that Death Mountain play as Illus did earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she doesn't have a lot to check left, so...
Yeah, seems like a good place to go. You know, with how this has been progressing, I'm honestly starting to think that a unique item in Ice Palace might come into play very soon, because Cadenza will be able to get the Titan's Mitts that's in Hera, and that will definitely open up Ice Palace there.
I was actually thinking how the Ice Rod, and that we know that the GTP key is behind King of Samaria.
Mm-hmm.
That could actually be quite a bit of a trip to get it.
Yeah, it could very well be on Trinex, because there are some Turtle Rock chests that aren't included into the Samaria hints because of inverted mode. But Trinex, the first item, and then the two items behind the torch puzzle, like those are considered the Samaria blocks. So, you know, the big key could actually end up being on Trinex, which means the Ice Rod could end up being required. Yeah, in the case of this seed, it will be all of T-Rock, but as far as the hints are concerned, it's really just referring to those 4 locations because of inverted mode, because if this were an inverted seed, there's other ways we could get into Turtle Rock, so it's only counting those 4 locations that are actually Samaria locked, essentially.
I believe there was a hint about woods in Skullwoods. I mean, in Teastown.
Yes, that looks like what Illus is going to be heading straight for right now. So that is good that that hint was there. It did kind of put Skull Woods back into Illus's mind that, okay, well, maybe I'll go back there for boots, and if there is something on Mahula, I can pick that up too.
Illus actually deciding to check Modula first.
Mm-hmm.
Could have gone for the back chest straight away, but he would have missed on his ice shot, so a very, very good play for him. And have Cadenza actually deciding to check the 2 first chests in Iron Castle since she got a small key.
Yeah, that's right. No, unfortunately, no lamp, so the Dark Room will still be in play here. But I wouldn't say that Dark Room is really that bad. There are 2 enemies you kind of have to look for here in this room. And in the next room, if you have the Fire Rod, there are some torches you can light as well. So not an awful Dark Room to make it through.
Not the highest value there. Actually going for the hint, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
Oh no. Just
Or
going
taking...
for the death.
Yeah, Death Warp. Yeah, I imagine she's probably going to check out the rest of Escape
Wait,
now,
no,
too, since...
The hint is hidden behind the key, I guess, so it was actually
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, because it's in the first room. That's where it's light again, which is way beyond that key door. So Now it looks like Illus is, with the 4 keys they have, going to be checking out Palace of Darkness next, which, honestly, I can definitely understand this play. Palace of Darkness has a lot of stuff in here. You got to consider the 5 item locations it has in normal modes, the 6 small key chests, and, of course, the 3 dungeon items. That's 14 possible locations we have in here, so definitely a very high value location to check whenever you can.
With that bow glitch and hammer jump, we'll definitely gonna be able to check a lot without using all the small keys.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice mirror find for Cadenza. And you know, with that mirror find, there's a dungeon that's pretty much fully in logic and beatable in the Southern Dark World portion.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Do they actually want to go there, though?
When it comes to this version of the randomizer, I feel like when you have it completely in logic to the point where you can get every single chest and item in there, I feel like you gotta go for it, because that's so many items in there. Like, we even have the extra barrier of the small key taken care of now, too, so...
Yeah, answering your question for chat, the green pendant was Ice Rod, and yeah, Shovel was in Waterfall Fairy.
Which
Aside from that
was...
second glove.
Yeah. Which was, again, as we mentioned earlier, was sequence broke by Cadenza at the time, so... Illus is still a ways away off from getting that if they're going to be continuing to follow the logic right now.
And bow actually in pod!
Wow. And Tempered Sword inside the back of his, or Zelda's cell.
And there we have a second key to the castle tower.
Don't think that's going to be necessary anymore unless you really want to read that hint.
We're still missing those big keys though to complete pod and Eastern.
That's true, but I'm sure Illus is very, very happy to find that bow, though. Finding bow and pod or even Eastern is definitely one of those things that's, you know, it's, you don't want to go to those dungeons until you have the bow, but when it's there, like, you could save a lot of time over your opponent. Yeah, and Phileon in chat mentioning that in previous versions of the logic, it wasn't even possible to find bow back there, so it is kind of funny seeing it there where it is.
We're actually seeing a Swamp Palace play here.
We do find out where that big key to Palace of Darkness is. It's going to be fire locked inside Misery Mire.
Going to have a nice cannon fire with those silver arrows in the second chest of
Ooh, really, really nice. And having the tempered sword on top of that, like, yeah, Ganon's probably the least of Cadenza's concern right now. Question in chat, can Armos drop the bow and Randomizer? Yes, they can, as long as they're accessible in a place that's not behind the bow.
I've seen some Hammer Armos Knights fight in this tournament, and it wasn't very pleasant to see. Very slow.
Yeah, it's not great, that's for sure. Also, this is Illus's check of the Lumberjacks, so gonna see the rupees and be happy that it's not an Agaseed. Okay, Illus also going to get their Ice Rod, so if that Turtle Rock play ends up being required for that, you know, Trinex Ganon's Tower Big Key, or if Pedestal has something, then we'll be covered for that at the very least.
Going to send a little trick from Illus here. I mean, he doesn't have a lot to check left until he gets his mids.
You know, it is interesting to see that, like, you know, with all the different locations we've seen from both runners, neither of our runners have mitts yet. Illus needs to go to the Zora area, and Cadenza needs to go up to Hera at some point. So, you know, still lacking out on being able to check Ice Palace, the Misery Mire area, and some other locations too.
Not what you want to see on the left side for now. Small key to Skull Woods.
Don't really want to see a Ganon's Tower small key either. Looks like Illus will be probably getting their mitts shortly, though, with kind of exploring these Zora and Flipper areas now, so could potentially see something new very, very soon.
I believe we're gonna have a sword check as well, since Illus has the money.
That's true, yeah. Also gonna see the fairy bottle item here. Basically, in every randomized seas, much like prize packs, you can actually get random contents in your bottle from the fairies if you toss a bottle inside the pool.
The big key to Skull Woods. Not a high value swamp for now.
Yeah, not really.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yes, we are. What did we get there?
Cane of
Cane?
Samaria.
And we know we're going to need that, too. I mean, we will for Maya regardless, but Ganon's Tower Big Key, as we found out earlier, is blocked behind that Samaria. Actually, Cadenza cannot get the final pendant yet, because we do have all the items we need for Turtle Rock, but we do not have any keys for Turtle Rock yet.
Nor any pendant to get inside. I mean, an actual Ice Palace play from Illus. Right as you get the mids. I mean, you have 3 hints here, and you have the big key as well, so...
Yeah, I'm thinking that definitely trying to follow that unique item hint, which, right now, like, obviously Illus is still looking for, the mirror and Samaria, which we know is not going to be there, but, we still need medallions for Meyer and maybe even Turtle Rock, so there could be a medallion here for all we know, so it's still definitely a good check.
And there's 11.
Well, that is a unique item. Could be another one, though.
Yeah, Cadenza still hasn't gone to that mountain yet at all. Cadenza making the play now. We'll also be able to check like Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, those are checks that Illus wasn't able to make, so definitely going to get a lot of value from, even though didn't have the mitts for this long, still going to get some high value and be able to check some more locations while they're up here.
I believe it was only a small key inside the big chest of swamp, and silvers were on the second chest in swamp.
Yeah, it was a small key in the big chest and swamp. The big key, as we know from a hint, is blocked behind the Cane of Samaria. Yeah, the swamp big chest was opened by Cadenza. Was able to get the big key to the swamp. I believe it was on the bottle vendor, which
Yeah,
Illus
on
never
the
went back for.
he did. When he activated the flute, he did.
Oh, he did? Okay, my bad.
A really easy bomb jump here from Illus. Just have to hug the corner and drop the bomb. So only gold still left, and I believe that unique item in Ice was only the lamp.
Mm-hmm. So now this is really making me think that the next kind of level of progression is probably going to end up being like a medallion or something on the dark side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, definitely. Mire Shed and checkboard curves are also in play.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, so lamp was our only unique item in Ice, unfortunately. Also going to get the King's Tomb check here from Illus. A big key to Desert Palace. That's another crystal dungeon we can finish now. Chat pointing out that Desert Palace boss was still boots locked.
That's true. We can also check what's in the big chest as well.
That's true, yeah, definitely.
Because I believe it was only 10 arrows on the torch here.
Cadenza got really close to the edge there against Moldorm, but it's just one more hit should do it. Nope, got a poke in there, so there we go. But yeah, after very early in the seed, Cadenza's finally back within logic of the seed because get sequence breaking for that other glove upgrade definitely took her on a much different adventure than what Illus has been on.
and going straight for the Dead Mountain play. So we're gonna have 6 chests that are probably gonna give us some progression, because both of the runner are running out of locations right now.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, does not get the single cycle on Lamnola, but gonna use some sword swipes to still finish off this last one. And hey, we have our first Turtle Rock small key.
Still quite a long way to go to get into T-Rock.
Yeah, that's very true. You still need a medallion. And Illus still needs a cane, for that matter.
And that's the second key, I believe. Oh, and Ether. I was gonna say Illus didn't even check what was needed for Meyer, but with that Ether, I guess he's gonna check now.
Oh,
and it's Ether.
It's Ether. We did also see the Turtle Rock medallion, which was Quake. So interesting, yeah. Found some more Turtle Rock small keys. Got some medallion information. Find out where one of those medallions are. So we definitely have some intel now. That's for sure.
So what are we missing now to complete the seed? I believe we know where the pod big key is, so we still have to find the eastern big key.
Yeah, really just the eastern big key. And you know, we know where the pod big key is. We know where the big key to Ganon's tower could end up being. I guess it depends on, again, where the eastern is and what Samaria block the Ganon's key is.
I mean, we're still not out of this yet. Like, imagine big key of GT being in Turtle Rock, while the big key of Turtle Rock being in Ganon's tower.
That's true. That could very well happen.
The mirror is on the dig spot. Or under the dig spot.
Yeah, Mir is in the dig spot, and the Canis Maria is actually in Swamp, so that's the chain Illus still needs to find. Cadenza actually needs the bow still, but the bow is in Palace of Darkness, so once she goes over there to kind of start checking that area, we'll end up with that at some point. Looks like she's going to be making the Ice Palace play, knows that there's a unique item in there, so understandable to make this play right now. Unfortunately, it's just the lamp. Fair enough. I guess lamp's not too bad. It will allow us to not have to deal with dark rooms anymore. I suppose that's an advantage. Yeah, to answer a question in chat, it's really kind of hard to say who has the lead right now. It's kind of dependent on, when our runners go to the certain locations that have the items we know about. Because Illus needs to get that mirror at the dig spot, and, Bo, who knows when Cadenza is going to be checking out pods, so I feel like the first one to kind of retrace those steps of that information we know, that'll definitely kind of give us an idea of who has the advantage, so to speak, but it's really still too soon to call right now.
I don't remember where the hint for Meyer Firelock location was.
Maybe that was the swamp one.
Because Cadenza could have definitely gone into Meyer to get that big key of pod.
Okay, so yeah, it was in Swamp.
I think Illus would run out of the location after that one and have to go for that dig spot.
Yeah, probably. That's what I'm thinking. Although, well, yeah, because they can't do Swamp yet because they need that mirror. So yeah, I guess would be kind of the indication that, okay, what do I have any fetch quest items that I can turn in, and hopefully they see the shovel and kind of get the idea from that. True, Illus could go for Meyer as well. That is technically on the table.
Oh, going for the dig spot.
Okay. So Illus is going to get that mirror, and I imagine after seeing that mirror, Swamp's going to be the next thought, I imagine.
Yup. Not taking out fluid, so definitely going into swamp or no. I mean, you kind of want to have that cane for going into mire.
Right. And again, swamp is just a much higher density location. Unfortunately, it did only have one item, but, you know, that one item is going to push us towards that big key we need. And it's also a 5 and 6 crystal, too, so Illus has, you know, more motivation for checking this since they have desert completed, too. And looks like Cadenza is heading over to Mire now. Now, this could actually be very good, depending on what's in Mire. We know that the Palace of Darkness big key is going to be in here. Ganon's Tower big key has a possibility of being on Vitreous, as we know from the hint. And there's still a bunch of other item locations, so we could end up finding the Eastern big key in here as well. So a lot of potential to actually make a huge push into that kind of go mode territory.
Also, with that big key, probably gonna head into pod after that.
Oh, for sure, definitely, and that's going to be where the bow's going to end up being. So yeah, definitely good call here from Cadenza. And see, with that small key we found earlier, that 2 Mire, we can actually just kind of route this dungeon in a very unique way where we go to the left immediately and kind of work our way around in a kind of a circular motion through the dungeon.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to see that cutscene because it's not in the lower chest.
Mm-hmm. But we could get another hint out of it too, so... Another good hint, anyway. Unique item requires the hammer.
I mean, we don't really need many more unique items.
The one thing that could kind of come into play with is if like that Ganon's Tower big key is in Turtle Rock, and maybe it's referring to the medallion, which could be in Ganon's Tower. That's like the one hope I feel like for that particular hint.
And we have the big chest of Thieves Down open to us now as well.
That is not a chest I like going back for. And that is a good point. We have not seen hammer pegs yet, so that could very well be what that hint's referring to as well. Could be the medallion in there to Turtle Rock to find Eastern big key.
I mean, it could be that Thieves Down big chest that is actually locked by the hammer.
That's also true. That's very true. Okay, so Illus has Canis and Maria. As far as item go mode, as far as we know, unless again Quake comes into play, Illus is in item go mode. Still needs those keys though. Really quick Argus fight from Illus as we go into the Vitreous fight for Cadenza.
Fortunately, not having the bow there, so having to go with the spin strat.
I remember as a kid when I was trying to beat this game, I looked online for solutions, and literally the guide said, go to the corner and just keep swinging your sword until all the guys are gone.
It's gonna be our key.
Let's find out. It's a big key. Eastern Palace!
So we're not in go mode yet. I mean, no mode, but we're very close to it.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like at this point, with that big key find, that narrows down the Ganon's Tower big key to literally just Ganon's Tower or Turtle Rock. So I imagine Cadenza's play is going to go over to Eastern and Palace of Darkness, or not that yet, but that would be somewhere to go to find the bow. And, you know, see if that's in Ganon's Tower. I think that'd be a very strong, aggressive play right now. Although she still has to take on Desert, too.
I guess Cadenza is going for the hammer peg since she knows the unique item is behind the hammer.
That's true. Oh, yeah, and she's still looking for bow, too, so that's probably, you know, her hunch to check that out while she has that information. And see, when Illus gets done with Meyer here, like, Illus is going to know that, well, I have the bow, I can finish up Eastern and Palace of Darkness now. And with that hint, like, Illus is going to be essentially going for those Samaria locations exclusively. And there's Quake.
So that's our unique item behind the hammer, I guess.
I guess so. Oh, this could be a little bad for Cadenza though, because Cadenza's still looking for that bow. Could gamble on Turtle Rock having it, and you know, if it's not there, that could waste some time here.
I mean, with that Quake, when you get into GT, you might actually want to check the 3 first or 4 first
Right, yeah.
of T-Rock.
That's a good point. I didn't consider that. That would be a good idea to kind of just check that really quick. Looks like Cadenza is going to pod though, which is, you know, a good play because we know the bow's here. Man, I'm so interested where this big key is going to end up being now.
I mean, if it's in T-Rock, like, I don't think Illus would go for that Quake anytime soon.
Right. You know, we also have to consider, like, it's only a 1/9 possibility right now. But if it is on Trinex, we still need to collect some more small keys and the big key for Turtle Rock as well.
Cadenza is still looking for the Desert Butter's big key as well, which was in King's Doom, I believe.
Yes, that's right. I almost forgot about that. Yes, still needs the Desert Palace big key too. So at that, I'm almost tempted to say that Illus kind of has the slight advantage here just from, you know, having all of that and literally just looking for that big key now.
Yeah, Illus read that GT Big Key hint. He was actually the first one to get there.
Yeah, both of them have seen it. It was the first hint in Hera, I believe.
And at this point, I believe Illus will just go straight into GT.
Yeah, for sure. As far as they're concerned, like, even if it's not in those 5 chests, like, they'd be thinking that, oh, well, Quake's more than likely going to be in there. We know it's not, but it just seems like the best play to make right now.
For those who just tuned in, the GT Big Key is locked behind King of Samaria.
Yeah, and we've already checked Vitreous, which had the Eastern Palace Big Key. So that means the only other places the Big Key could be at this point are 5 chests in Ganon's Tower and 4 chests in Turtle Rock.
I mean, a tile room Big Key would be nice as well.
That's true, that could be a thing. Nice avoiding of the fireballs for Illus. Gonna pull up the silvers, get that shot in, and Helmasaur is down. Yes, Q Chaos. Trinex is locked behind the cane. So that is a possibility. In that case, we need a couple more small keys and the big key to Turtle Rock as well. And Illus still needs the Quake Medallion to even get in there, which is in Kingstone.
To answer one question in chat, no, the Big Key cannot be in the lava chest since the hints are shared between the modes, and that lava chest is actually accessible without the cane inverted.
Yep, that's true. The hints are all-inclusive for all the different modes, and in inverted, you can do lots of crazy things with Turtle Rocks, so because of that, the hints only apply to what's going to be the same case in every single mode. So in that case, just the Samaria block platforms in Turtle Rock, those are the chests that are essentially blocked behind Samaria.
Yes, Raimi GTB key is cane locked.
And there we go. That is Illus's final crystal. which means Illus does have access to Ganon's tower. Now, due to the nature of key sanity, there will not be a big key guessing game because it doesn't really work with this mode because it could be anywhere and even outside of Ganon's tower. But just for fun, like chat, go ahead and just to answer this question, where do you guys kind of hope the big key is going to end up being? Like in Turtle Rock, all the way on Trinex? I think it's just going to be behind Samari and Ganon's tower. What do you think?
I kind of think it's gonna be in Ganon's tower.
Probably. The odds are definitely in that favor. I mean, 5 versus 4 chests. And so you can bet that Illus is just going to go straight for that right side, not even going to focus on any other chest, just wanting to see if they can lock down that key before it's too late.
Might stop at tower room.
That's true, yeah. And yeah, the chances of the big key being on Trinex really, really low, considering that Trinex is not even within logic right now, as far as we know, because we just have not found enough small keys or even the big key at the Turtle Rock. Okay, here we go. We are going to get the 4 chests back here checked.
There it is.
There it is. So with that, Illus is in go mode, heading straight up to the top of Ganon's tower. Has plenty of small keys. Essentially routing this to completion. Cadenza still needs a couple of things, though. Still needs the Desert Palace big key to finish Desert Palace before he can go to Ganon's tower and found that big key. So still a bit behind, unfortunately.
Cadenza are actually finding keys to Turtle Rock.
That's really what you don't want to be finding right now, because the more keys you find, the more you'll be pushed even going to that dungeon to look for the key that's not even related to that dungeon. And as we know, will not end up being a good play in this particular seed.
Cadenza, no.
Oh no. The bait is unfortunately real. Yeah, there is still that possibility that she will be locked out of GT or locked out of the rest of TR pretty immediately, though. We do get the, I'm guessing that was the glove hint for Tower of Hera.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe it is a hidden item. Oh no, they didn't check what was in the basement, right?
Yeah, I don't think they ever got the small key, so yeah, they didn't. Maybe Bombos or Cape or Burna, or not Burna, but Bombos, Cape, Mushroom, or Powder were in there.
The DPP key is in King's Tomb.
And unfortunately, it's just a case of just unfortunate routing in this particular instance because, you know, there was that hint we got in Meyer about, you know, an item being hammerlocked, and that did end up being like the Quake medallion, which was very much relevant. It did open a dungeon after all, and again, just due to the way they had these differences in routing, just kind of took Cadenza in a much different route throughout the entire seed, and just kind of led her to Turtle Rock, which, you know, seemed like a good play. The Ganon's Tower big key was blocked behind Canis Samaria, so it was a very natural choice to make in this case.
Illus going for the big with Tempered and Silver is gonna be a pretty easy fight for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like we did find that Tower of Hera small key in Turtle Rock. And there we go. Ganon is down.
And with an SRL time of 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 20 seconds, Illus gets first place in this race. GG,
Very,
Illus.
yeah, very nicely done. And again, just a refresher on the stats. This was Game 2 of this series. They will have a Game 3 because every series will be a Game 3. It's not a best of series or anything. Game 1, choose by the higher seed. Game 2, choose by the lower seed. And in the case of this, which was game 2, this was actually Cadenza's settings, so Illus is now up to 2-1, or 2-0, I'm sorry, for this particular series. Anyway, I believe that is our winner for this race. Joining us, Illus24. GG, congrats on finishing your run and taking the victory here.
GG. So, yeah, I was a bit nervous about finding the mirror so late, but apparently I found the palace big key pretty early, so it kind of balanced itself out, I guess.
Yeah, that was definitely a big part of it. It's really interesting, like just kind of looking at the entire just the routes that both of you took, because it really didn't seem like you guys had like a similar route the entire seed. Like from the get-go, like you both got different glove upgrades for your first glove upgrade. Cadenza actually broke logic, did fake flipper, and got the power glove from the waterfall fairy, which we later found out was behind the other glove upgrade. So, you know,
Oh, wow.
both of you took different routes the entire seed. It never really once converged because you were all looking for different things at different points.
Yeah, I figured that she might have found the mids way earlier than I did, but it was not too bad because I had tons of stuff to do, so...
Well,
I think
it actually
finding
took,
mids... Yep, sorry.
it actually took her 1 hour to actually go to that mountain.
Yeah, but I don't know, it was logically pretty sound to me. Like, you found the hook shot, you found the you found the flute, you found the hammer. Of course, gloves had to be in Hera, like, even with the Hera big key, like, it was basically screaming at me that there would be the glove in Hera.
Yeah, another thing this seed was really trying to scream at you, especially towards the end there, was potential Turtle Rock access. Were you kind of fearing that at all, just due to the nature of the Cana Samaria hint and just, you know, the small keys you were kind of getting at the end there?
Yeah, I was absolutely considering it. That's why I checked the Hope chest, or the Hope room, those two chests, because maybe I'd find Quake on the way, and then, you know, go to TR, and then go back to GT again, something like that. But, yeah, Quake was not in TR, I guess.
I was actually expecting you to go
I
for
mean
the tile
GT.
room first.
Huh?
I was actually expecting you to go for the tile room first. You actually skipped it.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really considering tile room because you usually skip it. So, I would have gone for it after not finding anything on the right side, but tile room is always such a waste of time, so yeah.
I did notice before the race started, you said something in chat, like I don't know if it was necessarily like, you know, a hint that you're like against key sanity or anything, but you did definitely seem kind of a small bit of reluctance, I guess. Is key sanity a mode that you play a lot or don't play a lot or anything? Or
I absolutely don't play key sanity. Like, I've practiced it the past week, for example, because the race was coming up, and yeah, I kind of don't like this mode because you're just basically full clearing everything, and yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. So naturally, I did not play that much key sanity, though. Of course, I know some strats and I've watched some tricks, so it's not that big of a deal, but I sure don't really like it, I guess.
yeah, it makes sense, understandable.
Meanwhile, Cadenza going for her Desert Palace big key.
But yeah, for not being like too big of a fan, definitely GG 140, a really, really good time for key sanity, because as you said, definitely a lot of clearing, a lot of double dipping, things of that nature. So really good time to post under a lengthy marathon that key sanity normally ends up being.
Yeah, the practice seats I had usually had like 150 to 155, and if it went really bad, it was like 210 or 215. So I'm happy that it wasn't that long of a seat. So yeah, that was definitely my fastest Kisanity, I guess.
Well, awesome. Good job.
Thanks. I haven't played that mode a lot though, so there's probably some improvement if you get an even better seat, but I'm definitely happy with this time.
So looking forward, looks like you've won both of your matches of this series so far. Anything you're kind of hoping or expecting for your Game 3 randomized seed at all?
Not really. I'm probably gonna bank Kisanity.
Okay. It makes sense, yeah. You've done it once, don't need to do it a second time.
So you're basically telling us that you're more comfortable with retro modes?
Actually, yeah, I've played a bit of retro, like in anticipation of having to play it, and to be honest, enjoyment-wise, it didn't make too much of a difference compared to Kisanity, and Kisanity is definitely more well-liked, so I figured I'll rather play retro than Kisanity, I guess.
Cadenza almost getting the 1 cycle on Lamno, but finishes up with a very quick 2 cycles. So that is 7 crystals for Cadenza. And getting another small key to Turtle Rock as well.
After being done, I've tuned in a bit to the stream, and you guys were wondering where the other TR big key was, so I guess there it was.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, despite saying all of this about Kisanity, I think it's kind of fun. I might play it in the future, like sometimes, but yeah, as I said, not exactly my favorite mode.
That's fair. I know I personally like it just because it does kind of... when it comes to me and randomizers, I kind of like everything being randomized just to kind of give like the most bang for your buck, I guess. So for me, I kind of like Sanity because everything is randomized, like every single thing without any like exceptions or this has to be here type of thing. But in terms of races, like it can definitely be, especially just if you roll a bad seed, for example, it can definitely be quite the marathon. So I can definitely understand it not being everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I didn't really like Kisanity at first, but watching all those matches in the tournament actually made me really enjoy the mode, and definitely gonna play more Kisanity. I mean, in general, that tournament showed us a lot of different modes that you can actually have fun on. Especially that ritual mode that not a lot of people were playing before the tournament, and I noticed we had a few dailies with ritual mode, so giving a bit of plays to all those different modes was actually really nice for that tournament.
Yeah, a lot of variety is really nice. And again, that's one of the things I like this tournament because you get to see all those other modes. My only regret is that entrance is not involved, but I also understand why it's not included either. But yeah, there's a lot of different variations and stuff with this game, and it's impressive how it's gotten this big with all these different variations. It's you can have a different experience literally every single time you play.
I definitely agree. I think this tournament is a lot of fun. You get a bit out of your comfort zone, and I've come to like Randomizer a bit more this way, for example. Like, similarly, like watching this, and I was like, oh, this looks like a ton of fun. I might pick it, like I did against Zelda. Unfortunately, I did not win this one, but it was really fun and really close too.
Okay, so it looks like Cadenza is on her way to the big key of Ganon's tower, so we'll be making her ascent to the top very, very shortly.
So Illus, you're now at 2 wins and 3 losses in the tournament. What are your expectations for the rest of the tournament?
I'll try to get like second place. Dracarys is gonna get first place probably. I can definitely win against everyone in my group, but also lose against everyone in my group. Like all of my races were kind of close, and you know, like decided by one small thing, and then it was over. Stuff like this, and I think we're all on kind of equal skill levels, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun at least. I want to perform well. Not sure if I'm gonna make it to top 2, but I'm gonna try.
Definitely good to hear.
Yeah, there definitely seems to be like a lot of, especially in your group, like, yeah, like Dracarys is definitely in the lead for sure, but there's a lot of movement and a lot of just variation in the results for all you other guys. So it's definitely really cool to see how that group's going to come out and who's that second place person going to end up being.
To answer the question from Ophelia in the chat, yeah, I'm looking forward to that doubleheader against him.
Ooh, that should be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna play some relatively normal stuff, like he picked standard and I picked inverted, and basically the normal variations. And yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a ton of fun.
I mean, we got a long weekend of Legend of Zelda Randomizer ahead of us. It's gonna be really interesting to see.
Yeah, we're not even halfway done with all the matches we have for this tournament in general, so there's still a lot to go for the next 3 or 4 weeks as it is. So a lot of Randomizer being played at all hours of the day, pretty much. So Cadenza's pretty much through the gauntlet now. Got these last few torch rooms, and will be on her way to Aghanim. Already switching to the hookshot just to make sure you can get your item before, while the cutscene will not allow you to change items. No, Sugar Frosted. I wouldn't say the flute was really like that big of an advantage because Cadenza did get the boots earlier, and she was able to kind of get through like a lot of overworld spots a bit faster in the Dark World. And even if it was a late flute acquisition, she was still making progress, getting through dungeons, getting items. So, like, not going to Death Mountain as soon didn't really impact her as much as really just the Desert Palace Big Key did, and the extra Turtle Rock dip and everything. That's kind of what the difference ended up being.
Thinking about it, those boots were actually required, and they were actually in the back of Skull Woods, and without that hint, you would have probably taken a while until you get them, Illus.
Yeah. I was kind of happy to see that. I was like, yeah, Fire Rod is not necessarily an indicator for me to finish Skullwoods, but the TT Big Key was an indicator for me to finish Thieves Town. So I prioritized that, and then I was kind of lucky to see the hint, I guess. Though with how long it took for me to get the mirror, I probably would have gone to Skullwoods sooner or later. Like, back to Skullwoods.
And then, of course, there was that ice rod that, if that Big T to Gan's Tower and being on Trinex would have been something required as well, but thankfully that was not the case.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about this, but as long as we didn't have the keys,
yeah,
it wasn't too worrisome.
Yeah, those keys took a long time to show up.
That's why I figured, like, Turtle Rock is probably not required. Even if I had found Quake.
Right. And there we go. Cadenza finishes up the Ganon fight just under the 2-hour mark. I actually lost access to the SRL page, so I do not have the official SRL time on me.
Cadenza finished with an SRL time of 1 hour, 59 minutes and 8 seconds.
Okay, awesome.
GG to Cadenza. Seems like she was really unlucky in this one.
And we are joined for our second place finisher, Cadenza. GG, congratulations on finishing your run. And how are you doing after the seed?
Oh, well, I guess I've been trolled by the Desert Big Key, but other than that, I was kind of happy with what I've done. I was confused mid-race, I must say, because I sequence break Dark World Access, and I was really like, where are my glove or my castle tower small key? And it really took a while that I considered that, hey, the flute was in Eastern and that was my access. But I really thought for a while I had forgotten something, maybe in Co, so I was starting to freak out, but it wasn't that mountain, so.
Yeah, you definitely stayed away from the logic for a very long time, but
Yes.
honestly, to your benefit though, you did find like a lot of things before Illus, so you made good, you made good use of that sequence break. Honestly, again, it just kind of came down to where that Desert Palace Big Key ended up, and it wasn't exactly nice for the seed to start throwing you pushes to Turtle Rock at the end there. So
Yes.
it was definitely a logical, like, you were thinking logically that, okay, well, there are going to be a high volume of chests in Turtle Rock that's, could end up being there. It's just, unfortunately, that was not the case in this seed.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't know which is the good play until you do it, so.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But yeah, definitely, like, able to get, the boots early, which definitely allowed you a lot of faster movement on the overworld, and, you actually found the mirror way before Illus did, so, again, that really did kind of play a big part in you getting a pretty, I'd say, decent distance ahead of your opponent, so, sequence breaking definitely did help for sure, so definitely good call there.
Yeah, if it had allowed me to skip Aga, I would have been really happy, but the access wasn't that mountain, so it was nice, but I guess it doesn't change much. I guess we just made very different routing.
Right. Also seems like the hints were also very, very valuable in this seed as well. A lot
Yes.
of
Yes, that GTB key hint was just so nice, but I was afraid that the key would be on Trinex and the Tutorog big key in GT. That had been very troll.
Yeah, that was definitely a possibility for sure.
The last hint actually made you waste a bit of time, like that unique item locked behind the hammer. That was actually what sent you into Total Rock.
No, because behind the hammer can't be in Tutorog because I've inverted. So that was pointing, in my opinion, to Swamp Palace, which
I was
summary.
I was pointing at that quake that you got from that.
The hammer pegs.
Oh yeah, maybe. Both are possible.
By the way, I found those hints really nice as well. Like, I almost missed boots because, because I tried to skip the backside of Skullwoods and then it said boots are in Skullwoods. And what was also nice was that it was said that the Maya fire-locked side has the pot big key, which was really nice too. The hints were really helpful in this one.
Yeah, I've got a little bit confused. I've read a little bit too fast the hint in eyes that was pointing, I think, to a small key of GT.
Yeah, you were not the only one. I know that there were some people in chat who also kind of saw that as well. So, it's definitely an understandable thing. You see Ganon's Tower, you see key. It's, it is a key. It's just that big word didn't see it was there.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't have an hint that told me that it was Samurai locked. Swamp is not Samurai locked. Then I was, oh, I already have the big key. I already opened that chest. It was a small key. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I know that we do have like I believe a French stream going on as well, and I know that they're going to be wanting to have an interview with you over there at Cadenza. But very quickly, any last things you want to say about this seed? Anything else you feel like mentioning? How you feeling about the rest of your group from this point on? Stuff like that.
Oh well, I'm the lowest seed player of my group, so I never expected to go to the next stage. But I'm already pretty happy with having 3 wins so far. So I'll just do my best, and it's experience and motivation to work on my execution and getting better. So I'm glad that I've got to the group stage for that.
Awesome, that's a great mindset to have. And again, GG and good luck on your future matches.
Thank you.
JJ, good luck on the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, GG from my part as well.
Okay, well, while we get ready to wrap this up on this end anyway, any final thoughts from you, Illus, before we sign out here?
Well, thank you for the restream. I thought that we would get restreamed, so it was a pleasant surprise. And thanks for commentating and for tracking. I'm sure you guys did a great job. I'm gonna watch that later. I'm not sure if it's today because it gets pretty late for me, but we'll see. It was pretty fun overall. Thanks, guys.
No problem, and no problem if you don't watch it back right away. I know you got to get the practice for those double headers and for tomorrow, so no worries there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay, well, with that, I think we are gonna start wrapping things up. Thanks to both of our runners for putting on an amazing show today. It was a really great race. Also, thank you to our tracker Itsudemo for keeping the tracker updated quite a bit throughout this entire run, especially in Key Sanity. It can be quite the insanity to keep up with everything. So thank you for being there, giving us some information that we may have missed at some point. It's always great to have trackers on board. And also thank you to my co-com Lin for joining me on this. It was a lot of fun, a very interesting race, and had a lot of fun commentating with you.
Thank you as well, Kirby. I had a lot of fun as well.
Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and start closing this out. I believe we have another restreamed race coming up here within like 30 or so minutes. Yeah, we do, on Speed Gaming, this channel right here at 6:30 Eastern. We have Liam Atlas versus Hahasel. So if you want to come by and watch some inverted mode, come back in about 30 minutes and you'll get just that. But from there, this has been Slim Kirby. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you guys later.
Thank you, everybody. See you guys later.